The middle now cutting back. There he goes. Fred's at the 40. Fred breaks a tackle. He's on the run at the 50. Fred's on the go. He's at the 30. Fred 20. Fred 10. He's into the end zone. Touchdown Jacksonville. Wow. So back he's got a hold. There he is 30. Taylor outside 40. There he goes to the 45-50. It's a foot race 40. Taylor 30. Taylor to the 20. He's to the 10. He's pulled out, but he gets into the end zone. Touchdown on the first play of the game. 77 yards. Fred Taylor erupts. High kickoff. Desmond Howard's got him at the 10. Has blockers 15. Now there's a reverse play. He throws it across the field to Cedric to Jimmy Smith. Jimmy Smith down the sideline. Here he goes, 40. He's got room. He could go. 50, 40, 30. It's a foot race. They aren't going to catch him. 10-5. Touchdown Jaguars. 85 yards on the double dip alley-oop reverse play from Desmond Howard to Jimmy Smith. Unreal. They trail by 6. Brunel takes the snap. Quick throw. Howard catch. 15, 10, 5. He'll score. He'll score. Touchdown Jacksonville. Touchdown Jacksonville. Touchdown Desmond Howard.
Now, Jaguars Today on 1010XL with Mike Dempsey, Fat Tony, and RJ Saunders.
All right, good morning, everybody, and welcome in. Post-Super Bowl 60 hangover still in effect, and you are listening to Jaguars Today, where we will look forward throughout the 2026 season for the next however many months. Good morning, Tony Smith.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm doing well.
What did you watch sporting yesterday, or anything?
I asked you as we were coming in for the segment, you mentioned there's nothing going on. You were looking forward to a show. It's like Winter Olympics does nothing for you?
Oh, no, yeah. I'm not
Right.
That's, yeah, I guess
And
everyone's
I wouldn't
watching
say
that now.
The Winter Olympics does much for me, but I am, every 4 years, I'm locked in on the curling.
I know you are.
Whatever U.S. curling is going on, I'm watching. The only competition that started so far is the mixed doubles, and they are playing for a gold medal today.
Oh, wow. Who are we in it?
We're in it.
Oh, we are?
Yeah.
USA.
U.S. is playing for a gold medal.
What time?
At 12:05.
Oh, I'll be in the car.
Yeah.
So hopefully we'll get updates on XL Primetime later on today. RJ
I was
Saunders.
watching, right after the Super Bowl, there was some skating competition that it was on NBC. Obviously, the Super Bowl was. And the TV just stayed on. And they went to some skating competition. I hadn't watched any of the skating. It holds no interest for me. But apparently, it had been outlawed in the sport since 1993 or something, the backflip when you're skating. And they have allowed it back into the Olympics, and an American skater pulled it off, did a backflip, landed on one foot, and they said it over and over on the broadcast, and they never chuckled when they said it, and I don't know how they got through it. Every time he was doing anything, they just called him the Quad God. They never said his name on the broadcast. They were
yeah, I've heard of that. I know who that guy is. He does the quadruple jumps or whatever, and he has a quintuple, quintuple jump. No, he does. Apparently, he's got a 5 spinner or whatever.
Yeah.
And the thing of it is, he'll probably beat everybody by not taking that risk. Mm-hmm. So the question is, do you do it if you don't need to do it?
Well, he did the backflip and landed.
Well, the backflip, yeah. I saw him do that just in a little piece, and I haven't watched any of the actual competition, but I'm aware of him.
They won. Whatever
RJ's
that
on the
competition
phone
was, the
right
U.S.
now.
won.
All right. Well, we'll say hello to RJ Saunders here coming up. Tony Smith. We turn the page from the Winter Olympics. Not going to be hard because I forget they're on. But look, again, not looking down my nose at them. You want to watch them, enjoy the Olympics. I did think about it on Sunday. NBC doesn't always have the Super Bowl. The Olympics are only every 4 years. So to have that lead in to the Super Bowl, I said to my wife, wow, hell of a day for NBC, right? I mean, because they did have, I think Lindsey Vonn was
led on Sunday night. It led with Lindsey Vonn's crash.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. Was that already, that was probably done by that point in time.
Yeah.
You know, the plausibly live kind of stuff, like the Olympic hockey game in 1980.
Right. There was a minute-long clip that got posted when it happened, when the Vaughn accident happened, and it is harder to watch than what they actually showed on TV, because they did have her on the ground yelling for 30 seconds, and it was why is this clip even available?
Yeah. Once they put it out there, it's hard to suck it all back in. RJ Saunders, good morning to you.
Morning, guys. What's the haps?
You tell us, man, what's going on? Are you an Olympic winter or summer observer? Either way.
Summer, but only for one event.
Basketball.
That's it?
Exactly.
Okay. Oh, I never played hockey, but I still watch hockey. In the
Now,
Winter
is that,
Olympics.
Tony, there's a caller that I guess came in late, would like for you to repeat what is the gold medal game in what event again?
Curling?
It's in mixed doubles curling.
You just made a caller happy because that's
There you
why I
go.
was on the phone.
12:05.
12:05.
12:05. We're
Yeah,
your full
the-
service
The
Jaguars
men's
show.
and women's team officially begin their quest for gold in curling later this week.
Can't wait.
Yeah.
Can't wait. Keep us posted. Sorry I brought it up. All right. So today we will talk about your Jacksonville Jaguars. Being that it's a Tuesday, we've got a top 5 question for you. And today we're asking for your top 5 projecting most improved Jaguars for 2026. So obviously they have to be 5 guys you expect to be on this roster in 2026. That is one place to start there. And also today, we have dueling 3-round mock drafts from The Athletic and NFL.com as we get into that season. Now, we won't inundate you with nearly as many mock drafts, but if we get a 3-rounder, that means we get to look at 4 picks. That's more than most people do. So we'll take a look at those 2 today, Tony. And just on a side-by-side comparison, I think there's one that Jaguar fans, even if you don't know the players, if you just look at the positions that get addressed, I think there's one that you lean more heavily towards. Chad Ryder did the one at NFL.com. He'll join us on the show tomorrow to discuss that and just the draft in general. Again, you hear that. It's one of those years where it's just not a great draft. Well, it's always a decent draft for some position. So will it line up for the Jacksonville Jaguars? That'll be one of the big questions that we'll obviously be trying to answer as we move towards April, late April here in the NFL calendar. All right, so if you want to get in today, 641-1010 on the Key Buick GMC phone lines, also on the text line, designed by Lifetime Enclosures. Same number there. You can stream us on YouTube, on Facebook, and on X, and you can find us on social media at MD_1010XL, at 1010XL Fat Tony, and at R has no J. There we go. That's what I'm saying. Did you go to see the Magic play this weekend? Were they in town this weekend?
Yeah, I went to the game on Saturday.
How'd
that
it
they
go?
played against the Utah Jazz. 17-point comeback.
Oh.
Also, we could say tanking by the Utah Jazz, who didn't play their starters in the entire fourth.
No legal tank like the NBA.
So, Will Hardy's just sitting there, and it's just like
You need some developmental time for the young guys.
timeout Orlando. The Jazz with their starters are up 17. The Jazz have made the Magic have made a 10-0 run to finish the third quarter. Have cut this down to about 10. We're at like the 7-minute mark, 5-minute mark. Coach, are you going to put back in the No, you're not going to put back in the starters. Orlando comes back and wins a 2-game winning streak. We're here now, and the Magic won last night.
Well, Utah got everything they wanted. They looked good for a half, and then they preserved their draft capital,
which they
forward.
did again last night against the Miami Heat. However, it didn't work this time, as the Utah Jazz would win that game, as they are openly taking. Will Hardy did say and admit that I was not thinking about putting back in my starters in the game against Miami, and I guess the rest of the players did not get the memo that, hey, we're trying to lose games here to keep our pick. Bryce Sensabaugh taking it home for the Jazz. But the Magic, now winners of 3 in a row, got one final one on Wednesday before the All-Star break. So, no, it was pretty good on Saturday. The crowd was able to get into it and get fired up about it, even though we saw tanking from the Utah Jazz.
All right, there you go. Your update from the Orlando Magic with RJ Saunders. All right, we'll come back and let's dig into today's top 5 a little bit, but also a little draft talk moving forward as we get away from Super Bowl 60. I've got still some fallout coming out of that game as well that's at least of interest to me, so we'll share some of those thoughts with you as we move along today. Mike Dempsey, Tony Smith, and RJ Saunders here with you on 1010XL and 92.5 FM. Hey, folks, Mike Dempsey here. If you're looking for the best selection of trucks in Jacksonville, it's truck time at Big Number 1 Duval Ford. With Jacksonville's largest lineup of brand new trucks and massive discounts over $10,000 off select models. That's right, savings you're not going to get anywhere else. Your next truck is waiting at Big Number 1 Duval Ford. So why don't you swing by 1616 Cassett Avenue today, the most impressive showroom in Jacksonville, or visit them online at DuvalFord.com. It's truck time at Big Number 1 Duval Ford.
Jaguars Today for the renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios.
I just want you to meet some people and find out whatever you can about them.
What type of people?
Dangerous, dirty, tattooed, uncivilized. Your kind of people.
1010XL.
This is the kind of sandwich you don't rush. French dip at Firehouse Subs. Premium roast beef loaded with caramelized onions, melted provolone cheese, and topped with Italian seasoning. Stacked on a toasted garlic bread roll with hot au jus for dipping. For a limited time at Firehouse Subs.
Jaguars Today Tuesday, kept pest-free by Julington Creek Pest Control.
Hi, I'm Sean Monahan from Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach, celebrating our 49th annual Valentine's Day sale. Come see our hand-picked inventory of thousands of pieces of fine jewelry, diamonds, and gemstones. This Valentine's Day, we have big discounts with jewelry for any budget. And with interest-free financing, you'll get the jewelry you love with a monthly payment you can afford. Monahans will also give you cash for your unwanted gold or silver, or trade it in for new jewelry and get greater value. Monahan Jewelers Valentine's Day sale with big savings in our entire inventory. Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach.
Don't miss the Bari Breakdown with Dr. George Bari on XL Primetime, Wednesdays around 1:35 for the latest in sports injuries from all the big names in the game. Who's MIA, who's coming back? Dr. George Bari on XL Primetime, Wednesdays at 1:35 on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Anytime you've got major plumbing problems, and even the minor ones, there's several potential causes, and they usually can't be easily detected. So don't guess at a solution. Hire Roland Reese Plumbing at plumbingjacksonville.com.
Ready to put your dream car in drive? Get solid rates for the road ahead when you finance with First Florida Credit Union. Enjoy competitive low rates, up to 90 days of no payments and budget-friendly protection plans. Whether you're buying a vehicle or refinancing, stop by a branch or apply online at firstflorida.org/autoloans. Membership eligibility required. Interest accrues during loan payment deferral period. Federally insured by NCUA. Visit firstflorida.org/autoloans.
Checkmate. I'm Brendan Cecilia, founder of Checkmate Coatings.
And I'm Chester, company mascot at your service.
There are two important steps to installing the perfect garage floor. The two-stage coating application, sure, but nothing is more important than preparing the floor. Our team uses diamond grinding machines to grind your floors to a smooth, level finish. Only then can we...
Hold on! You grind garage floors with perfectly lovely diamonds?
No, Chester. We grind floors to perfection using the very best ugly diamonds. Too ugly for jewelry, but perfect for the grinding pads we use to prep the surface.
Perfect preparation and application. Now that's a perfect marriage.
Ugly diamonds?
Check. Perfect preparation?
Check. Smooth, gorgeous, gleaming floors that really catch your eye? Checkmate!
Transforming your floors, making them great. Checkmate.
Visit checkmatecoatings.com.
We've all been there. You hear about an incredible event Monday morning, but it happens Sunday. Stop missing out. Jacksonville is the flip side of Florida, and we have the solution. From under-the-radar sporting events to the perfect family outing or date night, Visit Jacksonville is your all-access pass to the city. Plan your 2026 season at visitjacksonville.com/locals. visitjacksonville.com/locals. Or download the Visit Jax app for the full lineup. See what you've been missing.
At the First Coast YMCA, there's no place like this place, with programs and experiences that will bring your whole family together. Summer will be here before we know it, and Y Summer Day Camp registration is now open. Visit your local Y to secure your child's spot early for a season full of memories and adventure. Don't delay. Day camps will fill up. There's no place like this place, so visit your local Y to sign up or online at fcymca.org. Search Summer Day Camp.
1010XL, presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah. Everything you need to know about the Jags. Jaguars Today on 1010XL.
All right, RJ, how are you at spelling? Any good?
Yeah.
Fair? All right, don't worry. I'm not going to put you to the test. We did that with Hacker once, way back in the day. The Hacker Bee, as we dubbed it.
Hacker Bee.
Yeah, well, like a spelling bee.
Yeah,
the
right,
Hacker
right.
Bee,
Yeah,
that kind of thing. And, we had a prize. I had no idea what the prize was. It's been lost to time.
I remember how the competition ended, but I don't remember.
Well, it was whoever could call in with the shortest word that Hacker could not spell correctly. And the winning word was gnat. All right, and he went with how do you spell Nat, by the way?
Are you asking me?
Yeah, I'm asking you
jokingly or seriously?
No, I'm seriously asking you now.
GNAT.
Yeah, correct. Ding, 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 ding. RJ's like, that's the most pressure he's been under since he's come to 1010 XL. KNAT is where my man went with that one. So,
no, we didn't. Hold on. No, we didn't.
Oh, yeah.
KN?
KNAT. Like Knat. I mean, like knife. There's a silent K in knife, So he knew there was a letter before the end.
Right. He knew the whole thing was to try to trick hackers. So he's like, this is obviously a trick word.
Yes.
And he just didn't know where it was going to go. So he went with the K.
Right. It's just
I refuse to believe it. A KN?
Yeah. Anyway, so that's just preamble to today. I'm now the guy in Jacksonville radio who's misspelled the shortest word all time.
Oh.
Exactly. I could have used one. I left the O out above. Okay. That's all. It bothers me, RJ. Like, it's like just an annoying thing when I see that. I just want to pull that tweet back and then reset it. But then I don't want to lose all the replies and all that kind of, whatever. It's not that important.
Screenshot?
But the Jaguars Today question F the day is, that you could, get to that point in the middle of your sentence. The Jaguars Today question, F the day, man. It's just not going well. You forget it. Why are we even trying at this point in time? So that's the way I interpreted it. Anyway, just wanted to take you inside my brain cell for a minute right there. And your question of the day is this: which 5 Jacksonville Jaguars will show the most improvement in their games in 2026, meaning their personal game, right? Who's going to take their game to a higher level by the largest degree? And that makes it tough, right? Because you have some guys who are frontline performers who you expect to continue to get better, but by what degree? Is Trevor Lawrence going to improve as much as, say, a young guy who hasn't gotten a whole lot of playing time and you expect a wide, more expanded role for? So anyway, we'll get to those throughout the course of the day today.
Yeah, the whole league needs to get out of the way if Trevor Lawrence is among their most improved players.
Man, if he's among the most improved players on this roster next year compared to this year,
either the whole roster was terrible or watch out.
Or Trevor's going to win the MVP.
Right.
I mean, and that's the kind of numbers we'd be talking about. Now, look, if you've got him in your top 5, that's fine.
Yeah.
And me personally, and we'll get to him a little bit later on, but I didn't put in guys like Caleb Bransall, who didn't play at all last year. Right. Yeah. Improved compared to what? And so, and also, as is my wont to do, I jammed a few into one number because
a category.
I could have just gone down most of the rookie class from last year. It's the easy thing to do, right? So I wanted to spread the love a little bit. So we'll get to those coming up a little bit later on. A couple of things here, little odds and ends. DeMarcus Lawrence, remember when he left the Cowboys and he was decried for never going to win there by Micah Parsons, right? Like, hope you enjoy the money, basically. You're never going to get a ring in Seattle. Oh, excuse me. So he's obviously carried that with him. And why wouldn't you? I'd be the same exact way. I'd be the saltiest guy in the world. And would I be a good winner? Well, in certain aspects, sure. But not when it came to this one. I wouldn't. So he he said back when he signed, Dallas is my home, but I know for sure I'm not going to win a Super Bowl there. And he got ripped for saying that, right? And that's fine. So he was asked about it afterwards, celebrating the game. He said, I appreciate all my fans that supported me through it all. At the end of the day, players win championships, not logos. Don't ever get it twisted. In other words, Jerry Jones just can't go, I'm Jerry Jones, we got the star, and we're going to get rid of Mike. It's not going to make a difference, right? So he said, I'm just focused on celebrating with my guys, enjoying this moment, leaving the past where it's at. At the end of the day, I'm a Super Bowl champion now. I don't even have to worry about situations like that no more. That situation is below me. I'm a champion. What are we talking about, really? I love it, man. I'm because I recognize the petty, and I get, like, people say, well, he took the first shot. He was speaking his truth. I don't think I'm ever going to win a Super Bowl there. What do you do? I'm 33 years old, man. I'm ring chasing at this stage of my career. Guess what? He chose wisely. He chased that ring all the way to securing it a couple days ago.
And I think from a, kind of broader lens, obviously, I don't care what happens in Dallas for a moment. I don't care about their success or failure. Never really have.
No.
Like, I know they get shoved down everyone's throat. If you're a football fan and you turn on any national show, Dallas is likely going to be covered, even though they're largely irrelevant. Right, from an NFL perspective, compared to the teams that are actually
on
successful.
field, they're largely irrelevant.
Right.
They're not irrelevant in terms of interest. I mean, you can't deny the interest
Like,
level.
I appreciate DeMarcus being able, like, he just looks at it and says, "You're going to ask me about this team. Why does that matter?" Right?
Well,
they're not winning anything. I wasn't winning anything with them. I just won with Seattle. I don't care how Dallas feels about anything.
Right, but at the same time, it's obvious why he's being asked about it.
Because it's Dallas.
And because of the comments that went back and forth this offseason.
Yeah.
So, he's in the catbird seat right now, and that's what it is. We'll win with class, whatever. I mean,
Right.
it doesn't really
Well,
bother me that much.
It doesn't bother me at all. And I also don't think most places when you leave, I don't think there's a whole lot of, why would you want to leave here? Right? Like, and it does feel like there's a little bit of that with Dallas. And I think from a player perspective, it's like, well, what are they winning? Like, why do I have to stay here? Just because it's Dallas?
Yeah, well, for some people, that does carry cachet. And I would imagine, like, if you're now, why would I leave here? Well, hopefully the answer would be to find a better situation that's more likely to help me win.
Yeah.
But if the money's the same, like, Dak Prescott probably make a lot more as the quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys in endorsements than he would as the quarterback of the Cincinnati Bengals, for instance.
Perhaps, yeah.
I think I see Dak more. Who's the better quarterback right now, Dak or Burrow?
Burrow.
I think most people would say Burrow.
Yeah.
Dak's not chopped liver, by the way. But I see Dak, I think, doing a lot more stuff than Burrow. Maybe I just don't notice Burrow. I don't know. Maybe I'm not sure if that's the case or not. And people say, well, people said that about Trevor Lawrence. Sure, they did. You're right. I'm not saying you don't get any exposure anywhere else. It's hard to argue what that logo means in terms of instant connection with the largest amount of fans in America.
Like, I get it. And I guess from my perspective, it's more, I don't care, right, about Dallas. I'm not saying that nobody should care or that people don't care. I don't care. And I appreciate it when a player that used to be there is basically the same attitude. I don't care.
Well, sure. But again, I mean, I'm not saying he should care, but when he said, what are we talking about? I mean, clearly, there's a reason this question's being asked. People they're not going up to random players and going, how do you think they feel back in your town now that you're not there anymore? I mean, there was a backstory to this
for sure.
that carried the day. So anyway, just noticed that it was a little bit of interest. Yeah, good for him. Exactly right. That's he's 33 years old, man. Who knows? Maybe he'll walk off into the sunset right now. Although it's tough to do, right? Like you climb the mountain and you're like, well, I'm here now. I've worked my whole career to get to this point to have a team that can win a championship, and we just won. Why would I walk away?
Right.
Want to do it again, right? And then eventually it's tough. Elway did it, but he did it after winning back-to-back, and
Kelsey could have.
You bet that if Elway had retired after that first one, he'd always wonder. And he probably may wonder to this day, could we have done it 3 in a row? Who knows, because it's never been done. But
it's one of those things where if your body isn't telling you can't do it anymore, do it. Like if you're
not going to be able to go back to it
right,
in a couple
like
years.
There's nowhere to go that you're going to get what you get playing in the NFL.
No, maybe if you're Derek Carr, you get to take a year off. Well, they do say now. I don't know any specific team. I heard Adam Schefter say he doesn't know of any team that's actually discussed Derek Carr, but that's out there now. What I read that as is Derek Carr wants to play, and he's making sure that story's out there, that teams are interested in Derek Carr, because that will generate other teams going, well, wait a minute, is Derek Carr an option for me? And Derek Carr might be a decent option. I mean, he's played a lot of football. At times, he's played very well in the NFL. And would he be any worse than a guy like Jacoby Brissett last year who lost his last 9 games with the Arizona Cardinals? I think there are circumstances where you wouldn't want to build your future around Derek Carr, but I mean, would you rather have Derek Carr or Phillip Rivers? I mean, Derek Carr's been off for 1 year, right? You know what I'm saying? And Phillip Rivers still got the opportunity to come in and play. So it wouldn't surprise me at all if Derek Carr ends up on somebody's roster with a chance to at least compete for some playing time. I don't know if he's coming out of retirement to hold a clipboard for somebody, but then again, that NFL health insurance pretty damn good, man. You want to extend that out as far as you can. People joke about that. but it's a nice perk for Phillip Rivers because he's got 8,000 kids. And, you know,
money spends.
You get full health insurance for 5 years from the point you retire. So he resets his whole clock. Nice. I mean, look, hey, they give their bodies up, man. I mean, it's if we were in that position, we would think it was our right as well, you know. And some people think, oh man, these guys get taken care of, play a few years. Well, if you're good enough to get in that position and you can maximize that, more power to you.
Got the opportunity to take care of them, take care of them.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, let's do this. We'll take a time out here, and we'll come back and look at these 2 3-round mocks, one from The Athletic and the other one from NFL.com, because that covers the first 4 selections of your Jacksonville Jaguars. And this is more of an exercise in are they getting the positions right. So let's weigh in on that. When we return, we'll tell you which players they had paired up with the Jaguars selections at 56. Have you learned the numbers yet? What are we, 81, 88, and 100, I think? I know we're 81 and 100. I think that middle one is 88, if I'm not mistaken.
I'm not sure.
At least that's the way that everyone's got it who does the extended 3-round mocks has had it for a few weeks. Yeah, it's 81, 88, and 100. So, I don't know. For some reason, those have stuck in my head.
Yeah.
Yes. Right. But still, you know, I'll take a top 100 player.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, basically, if Caleb Ransaw turns out to be any good, then you were able to turn last year's 3rd-round pick into Ransaw, whoever you get at 81, whoever you get at 100, because 88's your own selection. So, you know, a little delayed gratification, but hopefully the Jags will hit at least a couple of doubles, if not home runs, with those early to mid-round draft selection. So we'll take a look at those 3-round mocks. When we come back, we'll get to the phone lines as well at 641-1010. If you'd like to get on board, you're listening to Jaguars Today on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
Jaguars Today.
For the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios. At 1010XL. Streaming live from the XL Digital Studios. Polished by Harbor Dental Care, the locally owned smile restoration experts.
Make Capital Glass and Shower Doors your premier choice for top-quality glass solutions. With over 40 years of expertise, their team specializes in commercial and residential projects. From elegant shower doors to modern frameless enclosures, they've got you covered. But that's not all. They also offer glass railing systems, glass wine cabinets, and much more. For unmatched quality and service, choose Capital Glass and Shower Doors. Your vision, their expertise. Visit online at capcoglass.com.
Valentine's Day is sweet, but let's be honest, your septic tank wants attention too. Because when it gets ignored, it doesn't sulk, it causes problems, big ones. That's why Duck Rooter, the only master septic contractor in Northeast Florida, is rolling out the Show Your Septic Some Love promotion. Right now, get $50 off septic tank pumping when you book by February 28th. Give your septic a little love now so it doesn't make a big scene later. When you start, call the Duck, 904-862-6769, duckrooter.com.
It's a Jaguars Today Tuesday, sparked by Julington Creek Pest Control.
Frank Frangie here for Coil Fencing. Since 1927, Jacksonville has trusted Coil Fencing to protect what matters. And I trust them too. From tough chain link to your commercial project to sleek aluminum fencing your HOA will love, Coil does it all. Did you know that Coil can also install, service, and maintain those automatic gates that help protect your neighborhood or business? To schedule a complimentary consultation, visit CoilJacks.com. That's C-O-Y-L-E, Jacks.com. Coil Fencing, A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Hey, it's Taylor. Valentine's Day is quickly approaching. Don't fall into the same routine of last-minute grocery store runs, picked-over flowers, and forgettable chocolates. Make a new play this year with a gift from Peterbrook Chocolatier. Choose from beautifully crafted artisan chocolates or a gift basket filled with the perfect mix of sweet, salty, crunchy, and creamy treats. With 15 North Florida locations, you likely drove past one today. Up your game this Valentine's Day with a gift that truly impresses. Find your closest location at peterbrook.com. That's peterbrook.com.
Zero Res Month of Love Sale. Hicken here. Not only is your carpet one of the biggest investments in your home, it's also the biggest air filter in your home. If your carpet hasn't been professionally cleaned, you're breathing unhealthy levels of nasty dirt, dander, bacteria, and germs that keep recirculating again and again. Lucky for you, Zero Res is going to spread the love to you and your home. Get 3 rooms of carpet clean starting at just $149. Book online at ZeroResJacksonville.com and say you want the 1010XL or Dan Hicken special.
Zero Res.
The month for love is a perfect time to get your home organized. Hey, this is Lauren Brooks, and I love our closets from Closets by Design. They create custom storage systems designed around how you actually live, from closets and garages to entertainment centers, laundry rooms, and storage for any space and budget. With their brand new showroom now open, they have extended the offer of 40% off plus an extra 15% off, free installation, and 18-month special financing. Schedule your free consultation. Call 904-878-9393 or visit closetsbydesign.com.
Mortgage rates have dropped. They're expected to move lower. Home sales momentum is building. So now's the time to get your home ready to maximize your sales price. It's time to call Chad and Sandy, the proven experts to sell your home. Maybe you have concerns about putting your home on the market and getting it sold. Well, let me alleviate those for you. There's a real quick solution. Chad and Sandy guarantee your home sold or they will buy it. Call 414-6200 or go to chadandsandy.com. You'll find out for yourself. Chad and Sandy, the local real estate experts I trust and recommend with the sale of your home or mine. Using their proprietary Market Max system, Chad and Sandy guarantee your home sold at an agreed-upon price and deadline, or they will buy it. Anthony and Mary in Palmco said, we needed to sell our home to move closer to family, but low cash offers weren't cutting it. Since we'd only bought a year earlier, options felt limited, but not for Chad and Sandy. Call Chad and Sandy today, or log on to chadandsandy.com.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch. Jaguars Today on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
All right, Tony, in the two dueling three-round mock drafts that we will take a look at today, because it is, after all, draft season for your Jacksonville Jaguars. Give me two positions that there are 8 selections, and there are 2 different outlets doing them. So each one only has 4 picks. Give me 2 positions you would hope would be represented in these 4 picks at some point.
I would say pass rusher, corner.
Okay, pass rusher being defensive end or defensive tackle?
Given the lack of options on the interior, I would say edge player.
Okay. Yeah. Edge player. Yeah. All right. Let's take a look at what they did.
I'd be curious if there's interior guys on there. I know there's one on one of them that I saw. So.
All right. Let's get to that right now. Over at The Athletic, yesterday they put out a 3-round mock. Pick 56, Jaguars take Jake Golday, linebacker, out of Cincinnati. Said it would not be a shock if a team rolled the dice on him in round 1. This is according to The Athletic. He's an ideal inside linebacker prospect from a physical standpoint, 6'4", 237, elite explosion and agility, a reported 4.24 second short shuttle. Okay, I'm not. I don't know. I don't know the short shuttle times the way I know. We all know the 40-yard dash time. So I'm going to take it that is an elite number. And Golday's combine workouts may draw a crowd. By the way, combine 2 weeks away right now. So coming up. So the Athletic goes linebacker. And look, if they lose Devin Lloyd, they may be hunting linebacker right there as a starting position for this football team right off the bat. In fact, NFL.com, without the write-up on these guys, goes Jacob Rodriguez, linebacker out of Texas Tech. So I think they're thinking along the same lines. Mm-hmm. I have no issue with a linebacker early in the, with the prospect of Devin Lloyd not being here. Don't know how they feel about Ventrell taking on that role, although you would presume he'd be penciled in as the starter before free agency and the draft. And Foyer's not, he's still a very good player, but you got to start to look ahead and make sure you stay on top of it with that. So, all right, moving on to round 3. 3 third-round selections right now for the Jaguars. The Athletic has them taking Darrell Jackson out of Florida State, the defensive tackle, who was a late addition to the Senior Bowl and reportedly performed pretty well. So I don't think there's any knock on the position that they went to there. And over at NFL.com, with their second selection, they go with Trayden Stukes, who's an Arizona cornerback. I don't know a ton about him. We'll ask Chad Ryder about him tomorrow because he will be on the program. He's the one who put this together. NFL.com then followed up with a safety, Genesis Smith out of Arizona. Again, I'm a little so back-to-back guys from the Arizona secondary to own a corner and a safety. How do you feel about safety for this football team?
I wouldn't consider it a need.
I don't consider it a major need, at least. With the that's if you presume that Caleb Branshaw is going to be fine.
Yeah.
Right. We don't know. That's the presumption, but guy got an injury and it went from he's out for a little bit to they're shutting him down for the year. So who knows? I don't personally know how that has responded behind the scenes. The third pick for the Athletic was Dalen Everett, the cornerback out of Georgia. So each of them haven't taken a corner. Each of them haven't taken a linebacker. The Athletic has a defensive tackle, while NFL.com has a safety. And then the final pick at pick 100, NFL.com went with Max Clare, the Ohio State tight end. Don't know a ton about him either. I can't do it with the tight end position here, I don't think. Now, granted, I think we're all pretty happy that the Jags have Brenton Strange, but at the time, the guy we were focused on that was available to the Jags when Brenton Strange was selected was Osiris Torrance, who's been a starting guard for the Buffalo Bills for a while. And the Jags, had an unsettled offensive line, but I think Brenton Strange has turned out to be a really good pick.
Absolutely.
By the Peterson-Balke regime. But is there enough at that position that you can't find it from the street free agent types that they picked up this year? You know what I mean? In terms of being a blocker, it's not like, after, in no particular order, Jacoby Myers, Parker Washington, Brian Thomas, Travis Hunter, Brenton Strange, how many targets are going to be available for the, quote, other tight ends?
Right.
Not much.
Not much.
You wouldn't think. And then finally, over at the Athletic, Brian Parker, an offensive lineman from Duke, was the selection there. And that's going to be interesting, too, to see how they feel about a couple of positions that, not old, but, Hainsey and McCary. How do you feel about them and what their window is? McCary was probably seen as somewhat of a disappointment last year, I think. Do you think Wyatt Milam or Walker Little is ready to ascend to a starting role? Will Walker Little even be part of this team? And if not, are you looking for depth at that point? I would rather, though, without, assuming that they're all relatively equally graded players, I'd rather go with the linebacker, defensive tackle, cornerback, offensive lineman group than the linebacker, cornerback, safety, tight end selection.
Yeah, I probably would too. I have heard Daryl Jackson, talking specifically about him as, we will get more and more into these prospects as we get into it. And it does feel like that is a not unrealistic target at the interior of the defensive line at some point for the Jags, maybe even in the second round. I've seen some lists that have him as among the top 4, maybe 5 defensive tackle prospects in the draft. It was most of the stuff that was written that I had read about him was all stuff reacting to what he did 2 years ago and had kind of question mark stuff. So around it was like, we want to see what he looks like, coming back for another year. And I haven't seen a bunch of the updates,
right?
On the conversation about Jackson, but look, there's probably Florida State fans who were watching it week to week, if you could still stomach it, going through the last couple of years there for Florida State, that could give you some idea of what he is as a player, but I just haven't watched enough of it to know.
Let's see where Kuiper's got him. He's got him as his number 6 defensive tackle in the draft. I just knew Kuiper will have his top 10s already out by position right now. He's got Caden McDonald out of Ohio State, Peter Woods from Clemson, Caleb Banks out of Florida, Lee Hunter from Texas Tech, Christian Miller from Georgia, another name I've heard mentioned with the Jags. And I think sometimes people, mentioned with the Jags. It's not like James Gladstone's out there going, hey, keep an eye on Christian Miller to us in April, right? There's no point in any of that. And we haven't gotten to the point now where you've been through the combine and some of these things, and the Jags won't be there anyway, right? They're just going to get the numbers. So you're not going to find out. Now, they'll be there in the sense that they're not going to talk to any prospects then. They're not going to send any contingent to the combine.
That seems to be the way they want to do it.
That's a little strange to me, but whatever the case. What thing it won't do is it won't tip their hand as to who they're showing interest in. Not that, look, you show interest in so many guys that you end up not drafting, right? And I don't know how valuable that intel is to other teams or not. I don't know how you could trust it. Is a team doing that to throw you off the scent, to make us believe, to try to get us to trade up in front of them because they really covet another position, whatever the case may be. and they can get them for a better value. But anyway, just thought those were interesting. We were not going to look at every mock draft along the way because a lot of them are just not going to include anything for the Jacksonville Jaguars if they're only representing that first round.
For sure.
There are some, though, that will give you the first round and then just give you the first pick of all the teams that don't have a first-round pick, and we'll probably take a peek at those along the way. All right, let's come back and start to dig into these top fives here and go to the phone lines for the first time this morning as well. Looking for the 5 players you think will show the most improvement for the Jacksonville Jaguars on this roster. You have to obviously anticipate that they'll be here throughout the 2026 season, or at least here to start the 2026 season. So we'll begin to take a look at today's Chad and Sandy real estate question of the day when we return in the moment. You're listening to Jaguars Today on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
Jaguars
Today.
From the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios of 1010XL. It's the Super Bowl of stock car racing.
The most anticipated moment in racing.
The Daytona 500. NASCAR is revved up by the Plumbers and Pipe Fitters Local Union 234 on Jacksonville's NASCAR station, 1010XL.
Welcome to Key Buick GMC, proudly family-owned and operated since 1943. Come see why they're North Florida's new and pre-owned truck center, conveniently located on Southside and JTB, just minutes from the St. John's Town Center. At Key Buick GMC, every new vehicle comes with our lifetime powertrain warranty. Key Buick GMC, we are professional grade. Online at keybuickgmc.com. Lifetime powertrain warranty covers engine, transmission, drivetrain only. Exclusions apply. See dealer for details.
It's Jaguars Today, Tuesday.
Protected by Shirlington Creek Pest Control. Our family serving yours since 1984.
Joe C. here. The XL Primetime crew will be live from Lifetime Enclosures this Thursday, noon to 2. It's their February open house all weekend, and we've got a pair of tickets to the Eric Church concert in April to give away. Thursday, noon to 2, or all weekend long at Lifetime Enclosures.
If you've run out of ideas for Valentine's Day, see what's on 1010XL's gift list from
Beard's Diamonds,
Wicca Candle Bar,
Kuhn Flowers,
and Peter Brook Chocolatier
at 1010XL.com.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Farah and Farah is thrilled to offer our annual Empowering Greatness Scholarship. 5 Florida high school seniors will receive 2 years' worth of tuition to a Florida college, university, or trade school. Apply now. Jacksonville.
Hey gang, Hicken here. Guys, listen up. Valentine's is coming. You want to be a hero this year with something really romantic? It's easier than you think at Beard's Diamonds. Beard's has put together a stunning selection of timeless, affordable jewelry she'll absolutely love. Dazzling rings, sparkling earrings, elegant pendants and bracelets set with brilliant diamonds or colorful gemstones. Classic gold that never goes out of style. And you can't beat the wow factor of top brand designer jewelry. They got it all at Beard's. And here's the best part. Right now, save up to 40% on all diamond stud earrings, pendants, and tennis bracelets. You know, cards, flowers, and candy are sweet, but nothing says I love you forever like a sparkling gift she'll wear and cherish every single day. Plus, Beard's is your local Jacksonville jeweler, family-owned and community-strong for more than 45 years right here in the St. John's Town Center, not some Wall Street chain. Hurry in today. Don't wait. Beard's Diamonds at the St. John's Town Center. Get up to 40% off diamond earrings, pendants, and tennis bracelets.
Looking for a great way to give back and enjoy some friendly competition? Join us for Operation New Uniforms Veterans Cup on Friday, April 10th. This competitive clay shoot tournament is a fun afternoon on the range, followed by awards, a reception, and time to connect with others who care about supporting veterans. Your participation helps Operation New Uniform empower veterans, transitioning service members, and military spouses as they move into meaningful careers. Put your teams together and join us on April 10th. Register today at onuvets.org. That's onuvets.org.
Bueller. Stay cooler with Bueller.
I'm starting to realize being a homeowner isn't all upside, Jason.
I mean, it does give you a place to live.
Yeah, but now suddenly I need to know the names of all the people I need to look after my house.
Like who?
Like if my air conditioner breaks in the middle of the heat wave, I need to know who I call to fix it.
That's me. You know me.
But what if my water heater dies or my toilet backs up?
That would also be me. Bueller Air and Plumbing.
Okay, fine, but what about my duct cleaning and my water filtration and my sewer drain? Where am I going to find all those guys if something goes wrong? I'm just a guy with a house and a dream and...
This pair of sunglasses.
Whoa.
Bueller Air and Plumbing is the only name you need to know. Our club members even get 2 free visits a year, so you know we're there when you need us.
Well, that's cool.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Visit BuellerAir.com.
Jacksonville is the flip side of Florida. And inside the flip side, the action never stops. If you're tired of hearing about the best games after the final whistle, don't get left on the sidelines. Whether it's a unique sporting event you've never seen, a weekend with the family, or a winning date night, Visit Jacksonville is your ultimate playbook. Get in the game. Head to visitjacksonville.com/locals or download the Visit Jax app today and see everything coming in 2026. Jacksonville. Experience the flip side.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch. Now, more Jaguars Today on 1010XL.
You know, Jeff Prosser asked me this morning, Tony, as we were watching ESPN, as we came in for the handoff at the start of the program, why anyone would pick the Chargers to be their Super Bowl pick for next year. I think we all try to do this to some degree, right? We don't, we'll run it back with Seattle. It's boring, right? You try to think a little bit outside the box. You try to get with a team that you feel is up and coming, and maybe they made the postseason and they came up short for whatever variety of reasons. And I think with the Chargers, you know, the narrative is they lost both their offensive tackles, their top 2 running backs, and they were able to overcome it, still make the postseason. They have a good defense. They have a good quarterback. They should be making big gains. So the reason I bring it up, Pete Prisco put out his post-Super Bowl power rankings. And we don't look at power rankings during the season because the standings are there.
Yeah.
But as a reflection of what you're anticipating with a long off season to come, they're a little interesting. It would have been disappointed if anyone but the Seahawks were at number 1, obviously, and they're there. The Patriots are at number 2, and I think that's just a nod to the teams that made it the furthest in their conference. After that, the Rams and Jacksonville is number 4. Now, Pete, as you know, whether you think Pete homers up a little bit or he just has more insight in the Jags, there's probably something somewhere in between with that, but he does always take a good critical look at what the Jags have and, you know, is more willing to throw his belief behind them than a lot of national writers. Let's put it this way. Pete's blurb was just this young team building towards something, and Liam Cohen is the right guy for the job. They do have to find ways to improve the pass rush. The other teams in the top 10, Broncos, Niners, Bills, Bears, Eagles, and Packers, Texans, and Chargers just outside. I remember a few years ago, maybe 2 years ago, we were talking about for next year's Super Bowl, and we did something like that, and you and I both had Cincinnati. And it was kind of the same thing. Like, you know, they're a team that, had they been healthy, you know, they're dangerous. They make the postseason, but they had so many injuries. They need to improve a little bit on defense. And I think that's what a lot of teams or pundits do at this time of year, which is why I will not be surprised if you see some love for Jacksonville as a team to watch out for. I don't know if many people are going to put them in the Super Bowl next year at this point in time, but if you're going to put the Chargers in there, you certainly could consider putting Jacksonville in there in those projections.
Yeah, the AFC is wide open, right? And you'll hear, you know, probably 6-7 teams that'll be talked about a little bit in that kind of way. I think the Chargers make some sense in a lot of areas. There's no way they can be as unlucky on the offensive line as they were this year, right? Again next year. And Herbert was still playing at the level that he was playing at. So you see it. I do think McDaniel's going to help them a lot on the offensive side of the ball to settle down some of the stuff they do offensively, so I can understand a little bit of it. I can also see the backside of it being, well, Herbert hadn't had any playoff success.
Right, he hasn't won a playoff game.
Right, so you kind of detract it in that way as well with that kind of thing. I think there are a lot of reasons from the outside. We see it because we're looking at it every day. There are a lot of reasons that I hope people from the outside see to love Jacksonville, right? Like going into next year, Trevor Lawrence did play at the level that he played at. Now, there are things that we've been willing to confront how easy it is to repeat them being able to do that again. Being number 1 in rush defense, that's hard to repeat.
Likely not going to happen.
Right. Like that kind of, it's just hard to have that kind of level of that group playing at that kind of level. Again, they do have issues with getting sacks. We'll see if that hurts them more next year than it seemed to hurt them this year when everything is said and done. But in an AFC where I don't see a dominant team.
No, I don't.
Anywhere.
There's nobody that, especially when you see how New England got handled, and they were the team that earned their way into the Super Bowl.
It feels like Seattle and the Rams were clearly, in my mind, probably the two best teams in the league.
Yeah, I think a lot of people felt that way.
Right? So in the NFC, you're trying to chase down those teams, and it does feel like there's a gap after them. In the AFC, there's no gap behind New England.
No, in fact, there might be 2 or 3 teams that you feel are starting ahead of New England.
Right.
At least, and that's more a reflection that New England's schedule is going to get tougher. They're not going to, and that was part of it. Well, how can you say they're ahead of New England? New England had a better record. They made the Super Bowl because it changes year to year. And you're trying to project what's going to change.
If you're a Bills fan, it's another year of this is the one. It's got to be the one. We'll see how long everyone's going to be willing to say it's got to be the one.
Bills fans are used to it. For the rest of us, we're the ones who have to put up with that damn narrative, hearing about it. I don't care about this is the one for
now or
Buffalo.
never Bills fans until next year.
Everybody wants their team to be represented, but though, fans generally want to hear people saying good things about them. And I think the point is, I think you're going to hear
more good than bad.
More of those projections now. And it won't surprise me if you see some people trying to get out ahead of the curve and projecting Jacksonville v. whomever in Super Bowl 61. Let's go out to the phones for the first time this morning. 641-1010 on the Key Buick GMC phone lines. Cody in Missouri. First up, what's up, Cody?
Good morning, guys. How are you?
Good. What's up?
Oh, nothing much, guys. Mike, I'm kind of glad you put me against the wall yesterday because I actually went back and was looking at some notes and stuff I had on my Wyatt Milam during the draft process. I sat down and I probably watched about 2 hours of tape on him yesterday, from his pro day to the combine, all that stuff, and it really opened my eyes. And that's why I put him at number 1 on the top 5 list. I think he would be great at the guard position, the right guard position, and I think it'd be a massive improvement from everything that I looked at on him yesterday and everything like that. So I'm glad you actually said something yesterday.
Well, what your point was, they need to add reinforcements on the offensive line, wasn't it?
Yes, either draft or sign another guy.
Right. And then I guess my follow-up was, so you just don't have a lot of confidence in Wyatt Milam, and I guess that what you're saying is your research has moved you off that opinion to some degree.
Well, I've always been really big on him, especially when he was at college and everything. But I went back and I looked at a lot of stuff, and I think that he would be the right move at guard. So,
all right. Well, I think a lot of people, Cody, appreciate the call. A lot of people think that Wyatt Milam will be the starting right guard, or I think at least he'll be given the opportunity to compete. I think all these guys will be given the opportunity to compete. When you look at who's a trying to think of what the stakes are here, Tony, who would you say you would say, I'll pay $100 if this guy's not a starting offensive lineman for the Jags this year? Anton Harrison, Cole Van Lanen. Who's next? Ezra?
Yeah. Hainsey is about there with me, too.
Okay. It's one of those guys, and then the right guard position is wide open. The only ones I would say, with barring injury, that I feel absolute certainty are the tackles. With absolute certainty. Now, I think the likelihood is we probably just named 4 of the starting offensive linemen on opening day. And the intrigue will be at exactly which positions are they starting and who earns that 5th spot and what does the competition look like. But, look, I think you'll see today, and we'll get into our top 5s when we begin hour number 2 here coming up at the top of the hour. But Wyatt Milam should be on most everybody's top 5, I would think, because he did play a little bit. There's a lot of room for growth. He didn't steal a starting job. He got behind because of injury. There's plenty of reasons to think that he's going to take a substantial leap in 2026.
Yeah.
And I feel more comfortable putting him in than I do like Caleb Bransell, who we didn't see at all. We didn't see a whole lot of Wyatt Milam, but we'll see how we handle that. Was that Chuck out at the beach? Let's get Chuck before we hit the top of the hour. Chuck, good morning.
Hey, good morning, guys. A couple of things. I think cornerback, to me, is really important to hit at least once because you got Newsom's not going to be back. Takes one guy to fall in love with Monteric Brown. He's gone. Hunter coming off an injury, and you got a 31-year-old Jordan Lewis who was injury prone. Outside of that, you don't have a whole lot there, so I think that's going to be a huge spot that we got to hit on. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think, look, I'm not worried about Hunter just because he's coming off of injury. I think he is, if that is the one position above all that he should excel at. So I think they're going to get, anybody can get hurt. Mm-hmm. I don't think that, put it this way, Travis Hunter's going to be any more susceptible to getting hurt because he had that injury last year. I don't think this is going to be a chronic situation. We're not led to believe anything like that. So I think he is going to be very good at one of those spots. Yes, Jordan Lewis is 31 years old, and he did get hurt this year. So you're right. Is he the long-term answer? Maybe not. But I feel pretty good about Jordan Lewis as well as your nickel corner this year. And you do have Jarian, do have Christian Braswell. You could play today with Jarian Jones as your starter. And if all those guys were healthy, I think you'd be okay. Obviously, you need a lot more depth. You're going to carry 6 or 7 of these guys on game day. Yeah. All right. So, yeah, they do need cornerback depth. I agree that Monteric might get priced out. I'd like to see him back because he was, I thought, a good fit. And I thought he played his best football the second half of the year under Anthony Campanile, Tony. And that's what you want to see, guys who are growing under the system that they're going to be asked to play in again.
Oh, absolutely. And look, Buster would be great to have back, but you do see the write-ups every now and then on the free agency stuff, and it's like,
the one list had him at number 11 overall at any position.
Yeah, and I think there is something to, there's a bunch of corners that are going to be on the market, so maybe that makes it easier for Jacksonville to figure something out with Buster to come back. I don't know. I haven't heard him talk about any of this. We've seen at least whispers that Devin Lloyd would like to come back. Right?
Yeah.
We've seen that kind of thing from that perspective, but I don't know that we've heard a whole lot about the other free agents. I don't know what's going on with Buster. I don't know what's going on with Wingard. Some of these other guys, I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if the Jags are interested in bringing both those guys back, but the price has got to be right.
Can you make it happen? Yeah. It wouldn't surprise me, though, if there are 3 new corners on the opening day roster.
No.
But that doesn't mean necessarily that you have to get them in the second or third round either, because it depends in part, A, what you do in free agency. That's probably backwards. B, how do you feel about Jarian Jones, Christian Braswell, right? And then you get to free agency. Are you trying to bring back Monteric? Are you successful? If not, do you add anybody else there? Then you go into the draft and you have a better picture of where you stand. And again, I think they can get by. I'm not saying it's ideal, but you can't get a great player at every position. You only have 1 second-round pick. Right? We want defensive tackle. We want corner. We want an edge rusher. We want fill in the blank, whatever that is. We only get one of them.
Yep.
Right? And so why didn't we do this? Well, because, again, you only get the one. So I do think they will spend some picks on cornerback, and I do think it is a need. I feel better about their projected starters today than I do at linebacker, for instance, right? Is Devin Lloyd's not going to be on the team as far as today because his contract's up. He doesn't have another year under contract. We know the 3 guys we just talked about will be here for the Jacksonville Jaguars, and they'll factor in somehow. All right, good question, Chuck. Appreciate it. Hour 2 on the way. We'll get into the Tuesday top 5, looking for players with the biggest improvement on deck for your Jaguars on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Jaguars Today. You're at the home of the Jaguars in the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios. Superior products, exceptional service. It may not be the perfect way to start the day.
They're smart people, and they want what we want.
But it's pretty good.
The distinction has been noted.
Put some spring in your step with The Drill. Dan Hicken and Jeff Prosser.
2 talented brothers.
Mornings on 1010XL.
It's Cancer Prevention Month, and Ackerman Urology reminds you to stay ahead of prostate, bladder, and kidney health. Get a yearly checkup, ask about a screening, and make self-checks a habit. To make an appointment at one of 4 locations, visit AckermanUrology.com.
For nearly 60 years, Green Acres Sporting Goods at the corner of Normandy and Hammond Boulevard has been Jacksonville's trusted name for the outdoors. From archery to hunting and fishing and more, their expert staff helps you get it right the first time. Right now, stop in and try the newest bows by Hoyt and Matthews and get dialed in before spring. Gear up today at greenacresporting.com.
This date in sports history is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On February 10th, 1992, speed skater Bonnie Blair won the 1992 Olympic first gold medal for Team USA.
Free for life? Just by saying that, you already know I'm referring to Awaken 180. They're the only company providing it. Fast, proven weight loss, and then keep it off thanks to free support for life. Awaken180weightloss.com.
The flagship station of the Jacksonville Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Hey Jacksonville, Don here, the big cheese at Taco Lou. Well, everyone knows my wife Debbie is the real cheese at the Lou. We just do what we're told. We aren't a sports bar at all, but we have the best selection of the finest tequilas that Mexico has to offer, and that makes any basketball game more fun to watch. So come into Taco Lou in Jacksonville Beach, where we love sports and we love tacos with our tequila. If you're looking for a crew to help with your fiestas at home or work, Taco Lou caters, bringing the tacos to you. Taco Lou in Jax Beach, where tacos and sports go hand in hand.
Quality work is sometimes hard to come by these days, and if you want quality in a fence that'll last, make the call to Duval. Duval Fence, that is, a good Jacksonville company with good Jacksonville people committed to quality service. If you need a fence for your home, for a business, anything, just call Duval Fence at 260-4747. Give them an idea of what you're looking for, and they'll take care of the rest. Property fence, privacy fence, pool, or pets. Make sure you call Duval Fence today.
Are you ready for another historic season at the bank? It's time to lock in your seats for 2026 by placing your deposit now. Next season will be played at Everbank Stadium, but seating capacity is limited due to in-bowl renovations, and spots are going fast. Don't miss out on your chance to see the season's biggest matchups and highlight real moments by placing your deposit at jaguars.com/tickets or by calling 904-633-2000. Go Jags!
Low mortgage rates are back. Listen, Loan Pronto has fixed rate mortgages with APRs as low as 4.89%. It's the lowest in years. Hey, gang, Prosser here. Smart homeowners are taking advantage of this while they can. If you got stuck in a 6% loan, you can lower your payment big time, or you can keep your primary mortgage intact, get cash out. Equity with Loan Pronto's rapid equity loans. One homeowner just got $250,000 out of their home. They paid off all their credit cards, some car loans, and cut their monthly expense by $2,000. Call now. See what option works best for you, but don't miss this big rate drop of 2026. Ask about new home loans, VA loans, full cash out refis, or their famous rapid equity loan. You can close in less than 2 weeks. You may be able to skip your next 2 house payments altogether. Call 904-999-1508 or visit loanpronto.com. No hard credit pull. 904-999-1508. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781. APR for well-qualified buyers.
Visit NMLSConsumerAccess.org.
Hi, I'm Susan Peters, CEO and founder of Possibilities Plus. Thanks to the players for supporting our mission to enhance the lives of teens and adults with different abilities. It's 28 days until the players.
This is your Southeast Orthopedic Specialist local sports update brought to you by Awaken 180. I'm Taylor Dahl for 1010XL. Gators begin to build their 2027 recruiting class with new head coach John Sumrall. Several recruits have revealed Florida in their top schools, including 5-star quarterback Elijah Haven, who is rated #1 quarterback for the 2027 class. It's 66 degrees at 11:05. Time and temp brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah. Everything you need to know about the Jags. Jaguars Today on 1010XL.
All right, whip it, baby. As we go into hour number 2, Tony, give me the band who does Let It Whip.
I do not know.
You know who that was, RJ? Don't look.
That would be the Daz Band.
That would be the Daz Band. All right, RJ looked at me like, what do you mean, look? I don't know. Did you know that before you played it?
Yes.
Okay, just check it. I had to look it up myself. So, full disclosure. It's one of those, oh, yeah, them, right?
We're just here to have some fun.
Yeah.
So we let it whip.
We do. We let it whip. Sometimes you let it whip. All right, let's get to today's question of the day and the countdown that will ensue from it as we ask you today which 5 Jacksonville Jaguars will show the most improvement in their games in 2023. 26. And, me, I don't limit it to 5, but that's kind of how I do around these parts. But, all right, RJ, if you would be so kind, let's begin the countdown.
Number 5.
All right, Tony, lead us off.
Number 5 for me, and I think that you can make an argument for him anywhere on the list, but I do think he deserves a spot on the list.
Mhm.
I put Brian Thomas Jr.
Okay.
If the comparison was only to 2025, then he would be much higher on my list. But given what we saw from him in his rookie campaign, you can go back and look at the numbers: 87, 12, 82, and 10 as a rookie for Brian Thomas Jr., 48, 707, and 2 last year for Brian Thomas. So I expect him to be likely he'll land somewhere in between those two numbers, but it'll certainly be an improvement on what we just saw in year 2 from Brian Thomas Jr. is what I'm anticipating in year 3, enough to get him to number 5 on my list.
Well, basically, he's averaged 1,000 yards and 6 touchdowns, right? And he just did it in lopsided fashion, right? So very tough for him to improve on those rookie year numbers, especially now with the addition of added firepower in the wide receiver room. But very easy to improve on last year. So it really depends on how you look at it. Coming off of last year's numbers, absolutely tons of room for growth. But overall, there's room for growth coming off a 1,000-yard, 6-touchdown season with the talent that he has displayed. All right, Brian Thomas may or may not have made my top 5. RJ, who's number 5 for you?
Well, he was certainly overshadowed by the year we had from one Devin Lloyd, but Ventrell Miller is number 5 on my list should Devin Lloyd be leaving the team. Shall we not forget that this was a guy that was competing for a starting job against Devin Lloyd? They had this guy as their number 1 linebacker. Should he get more opportunities? I'm not saying that necessarily he's going to give you that level of production that we saw last year from Devin Lloyd. I think that's going to be high expectations for anybody to have. However, I do think this is going to be a guy, if he is put into that role where he has to be the number 1, I do think he gives you a production level because of the uptick in snaps in which he will get that will make a lot of Jaguars fans very happy.
Yeah, we'll see. He was neck and neck. They were co-starters on the depth chart. There's no question about that, but so were Etienne and Bigsby for a while. And then Bigsby got shuffled off to Philadelphia. You know what I mean? So what they see in any given moment, I think Devin Lloyd obviously separated himself greatly from Ventrell Miller.
They did a really good job. They kept the burners on under everybody. Last year, it was like no one's comfortable. Like everyone's competing for whatever you're going to get. We're not telling you anything. And whoever wins it, you'll find out when you do.
I would, when RJ said, I'm not expecting, or I don't think, I forget exactly how you phrase it, Devin or Ventrell Miller to match Devin Lloyd's production. I'll guarantee he doesn't. Right? I mean, and prove me wrong, I'll be happy to have Ventrell Miller Day a year from now. Honestly, I would love nothing more than Ventrell Miller. But the idea that, you had a season where Devin Lloyd had 5 interceptions, 10 quarterback hits for the second time for any player to match those 2 numbers in a season, second time in 20 years. I doubt that Ventrell, so that's not a knock on him, but I think a lot of people are going to have Ventrell Miller on their list today. All right, I went with, this may be a little outside the box thinking, and keep in mind, I have a one of mine is a 3-player group on here. Okay, so if you want to roll the last 2 off and say they don't count, that's absolutely fine. All right, so at 5 or 7, however you want to look at it, I put Cole Van Lanen.
Okay.
And granted, is he going to improve more than he did last year? Well, possibly so, because he's going to be now looked at as an incumbent. He's a starter going in. They paid him. This regime paid him. He didn't have to climb over Walker Little or anybody else to get his spot. He did that work in 2025. Now he comes in on the strength of a new contract where he should be getting first-team reps the entire offseason. And maybe, do they flip him to the right side? Do they keep him on the left side? Either way, he's going to get a chance, Tony, instead of being the utility guy who plugged in here, plugged in there, plugged in everywhere. And it was fantastic because his level of play really didn't drop off. For Cole Van Lanen to get full-time starter reps, I think that could make an immeasurable impact on how much improvement we might see out of him this year. At least I'm hopeful, and I've got him at number 5 on my list today.
Yeah, not on my list, but it's a good argument for him to be there.
All right. Hey, look, there's no bad arguments today because it's all speculative and who we think are going to be. We'll get to some of your top fives a little bit later on. We're up against the break right now, so let's come back with numbers 4 and 3 in the countdown on the Tuesday top 5, looking for 5 Jaguar players who we think might show the most improvement in 2026. Mike Dempsey, Tony Smith, and RJ Saunders. You're listening to Jaguars Today on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
Jaguars Today.
From the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios of 1010XL.
The nominees for Best Supporting Actress are
Lauren Brooks and Taylor Dahl. With Tom McManus on Helmets and Heels. 2 to 4 weekdays on 1010XL.
The Players' Championship returns to TPC Sawgrass March 10th through 15th. Experience golf's most iconic stage with enhanced food and beverage offerings, interactive fan attractions, and an atmosphere built for every type of fan. See the best players in the world, including world number 1 Scotty Scheffler, 2025 champion Rory McIlroy, and fan favorite Brooks Koepka take on the legendary Stadium Course and the famous Island Green. Tickets available at theplayers.com.
Jaguars Today Tuesday is serviced by Julington Creek Pest Control.
Winter is in full swing, and Aleve is here to keep you moving. When the cold weather sets in, everyday aches and pains can linger, but Aleve's got your back. With up to 12 hours of body pain relief per dose, Aleve keeps you going with long-lasting body pain relief to get you through whatever the season brings. Chilly days or cozy nights, Aleve gives you that long-lasting body pain relief you can count on this winter. Try Aleve. Use as directed for minor aches and pains.
I want total control of my team. The off-season is the time to check under the hood and add replacement parts.
I want to be able to recruit anybody that I want. No interference.
Follow the road to the regular season with AA Automotive and 1010XL.
Spring is almost here. Is your yard ready? Lucas Tree Service, a family-owned business with over 45 years of experience, is your local certified arborist for tree removal, trimming, and stump grinding for residential or commercial properties. Protect your home, boost your curb appeal, and get top-notch service from a Jacksonville company. Make sure your trees are healthy and safe before summer hits. Schedule your tree inspection today at lucastreeservice.com.
When you're faced with damage in your home from water, fire, or mold, you need a team with the expertise to fix it right.
RestoPros!
A locally owned, nationally backed franchise that's here to help you when you need them. A team that does it right the first time.
RestoPros!
Remember, you don't have to use the insurance company's preferred contractors. Get it done right by a licensed professional you can trust. Call 904-201-9151 or go to RestoProsNEFlorida.com. That's RestoProsNEFlorida.com.
RestoPros!
Hey gang, Prosser here. Have you been thinking about selling your home and you haven't pulled the trigger? Let me tell you about Chad and Sandy and the experts that will help you make that decision. Mortgage rates have dropped. They're expected to move lower. Home sales momentum is building, so now's the time to get your home ready to maximize your sales price. It's time to call Chad and Sandy, the proven experts to sell your home. Need to sell now, need to sell fast, need max price. Check, check, check. Chad and Sandy have the science behind it. Using their proprietary Market Max system, Chad and Sandy guarantee your home sold at an agreed-upon price and deadline, or they will buy it. Jonathan writes from Mount Pleasant. The only thing standing between me and my dream of hitting the road in my RV was selling my Mount Pleasant home. After hearing Chad and Sandy on the radio, I gave them a call. The results were unreal. In just 3 days, I had multiple offers at full asking price. So can you. Call the local experts I trust and recommend. Call Chad and Sandy, 414-6200 or ChadAndSandy.com.
If you're ready to transform your yard with a fence that stands out, elevate your curb appeal with Superior Fence and Rail. Superior takes pride in offering first-class service, friendly installers, and unmatched fence products. Mention this ad and get $250 off your next project. It's time to get off the fence and call today.
When you're on the fence, about a fence, SuperiorFenceandRail.com.
I used to dread going to the dentist. Every visit felt like a sales pitch with constant upselling, surprise fees on my bill, and I could never get in when I needed to. But Harbor Dental Care? Totally different. They saw me the next day, gave me honest pricing up front, and even set me up with a payment plan I could actually afford. No pressure, no surprise charges, just kind people who get it. If you want to experience dentistry the way it should be, book your appointment today at harbordental.care. That's HARBOUR dental.care.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch. Everything you need to know about the Jags. Jaguars Today on 1010XL.
All right, Tuesday top 5 countdown continues here on Jaguars Today. Taking a look today at projecting 5 players we think could show the most improvement for the team. Obviously, one of the keys, one of the big keys, in addition to some of you think is going to get better, are they going to get better on this roster? So that's a big factor in this as well. And so if you're listing any pending free agents, you better anticipate that they're re-signing those guys here. At least that's the intent of the question today. All right, so we did number 5 in the countdown today, looking for the most improved Jaguars in 2026. RJ, let's continue.
Number 4.
Who you got it for, RJ?
Number 4 was Tony's number 5, Brian Thomas Jr. I do believe that in a down year, he did show some level of production, but you can't overlook what he was able to do in his rookie year. And albeit he had a lot that was going on around him in his rookie year, I do believe that he'll come back this season. He'll have the production that we expect him to have going down the line in his career with the Jacksonville Jaguars. I understand that we have seen what Parker Washington was able to do in a more expanded role. You bring in Jacoby Myers, but I do believe that this offense cannot be what it wants to be in its totality without having Brian Thomas Jr. in the mix some way, somehow. So I do believe he's going to up it here for the Jacksonville Jaguars going into 2026.
All right, fair enough. And he has been a very popular selection from the folks who've submitted so far on social media today. I'm going to go at number 4 with Trayvon Walker. And this is a tough one because Trayvon's already a really good player.
Yeah. Contract year. Yeah.
Contract year, and the sack total, we know he's capable of producing more because we've seen him produce more. But at the same time, Tony, he's very good against the run, and we know that. And we're not sure exactly how he'll be utilized week in, week out. But I think there's still growth in Trayvon Walker's game. And you do make a good point. It is a contract year. We'll see how that plays out in the offseason, if at all. Haven't heard anything on that front with Trayvon Walker. It is interesting as we look back, at least to me, 2 years ago, when you look at the quarterback hits for the Jacksonville Jaguars. By the way, Jags had more quarterback hits than the Patriots did this year, right? For instance, and the Patriots had a pretty decent defense, but they paled in comparison to the amount of quarterback hits that Seattle had, for instance. So if you look at this year's total for the Jaguars, they hit the quarterback 95 times, okay, according to Pro Football Reference. Is this locked-in gospel stat? Not so. It's not like receptions. We can count those so very easily. Different, how long has quarterback had the ball out of his hands when you make contact, things like that. There might be some room for subjectivity in there. But the Jags the previous year, Tony, had 68 quarterback hits. When you look at it like that, that's like 4 a week. That's exactly 4 a week. And those are hits. Those are not sacks. The crazy thing was, and we noted this at the time, Trayvon Walker hit the quarterback 15 times and had 10.5 sacks. It was an unsustainable ratio for him. The question for me is, can he raise that hit total this year? He certainly, the ratio fell down to earth this year. He had 13 quarterback hits, only 2 less than the year before, but his sacks plummeted from 10.5 to 3.5. I think he's going to get that sack number up. He may not be a perennial 10-sack guy, but somewhere in that 7 to 8 range. If he's an 8-sack guy, he's more than doubled that number.
Yeah, it averages out, right? Like, it's usually about half your hits turn into a sack. Well, if you take the 2 years, he had 28 quarterback hits and 14 sacks. Right? Like,
is it half? I thought it was even less than that. I thought it was more like 40%.
I've always heard that it's about half.
Is it about half?
Yeah,
okay.
It's about half. So you look at it, and they average out over the last couple of years for Trayvon Walker. And I think it's something we talked a lot about with Anton, going into the year. What would a breakout year look like for Anton? We're going to have discussions about what a breakout year looks like for Trayvon Walker, who is a player that's had double-digit sacks in a couple of seasons in his career. And when that conversation comes up for me, it's going to be about that QB hits number. To me, it's not so much about it's how consistently is he getting pressure on the opposing quarterback, and the QB hits number, I think for him to be taking that next step in his career and for a breakout kind of season to happen for Trayvon Walker means that he needs to be somewhere in the mid-20s or higher in quarterback hits once we get through the season.
Yeah.
Right? And that
Josh
would
Allen
be,
was at, I think, 28 this year.
He was at 28 this year. I know the year that he had the big season, he was high 30s. I want to say that year.
But there's a big difference. I mean, the quality of those hits. He had 28 quarterback hits, Josh Hines Allen. Good number, right? Myles Garrett at 33. Oh, wow, that's within striking distance until you get to the sack column.
Yeah.
And you're like, why, your hits, why are you, that number seems to indicate you're consistently just a half second late. You're getting there, but you're just not getting there in the nick of time. There are a variety of factors that go into that. Obviously, you're getting double teamed or you're getting any help. Anybody else drawing attention? All right, so who do you have at number 4 on your list?
Number 4 for me is the same position, but not that name. Danny Strigo is the name that I have at number 4 on the list. Between Strigo and B.J. Green, I was debating between the two of them, right, as to which one to put on this list for me. I think Strigo will be the more impactful player, mostly due to my confidence that he'll be the player that gets more reps between him and B.J. Green. He got slightly more reps his rookie year than BJ did. It's hard to even quantify which of them is the better straight pass rusher between the two of them at this point in their career, but I was going to pick one of them to be on this list, and this would be where I would have a hybrid name if I did. It would be like the Strigo Green spot kind of on the list for me, but I did go with Strigo, and I think there's a real possibility. I don't know what they're going to do as far as adding whoever the third edge rusher is going to be. I think they'll add somebody, to be that guy in the room. But I think Strigo or BJ Green's going to be the fourth guy.
Right, and they could emerge as the third guy.
Yeah. And I think both of them have, they show flashes of being okay if they're the third guy. But whoever that was going to be would have to take a major step forward in production going into their second season in the league. If I had to pick one to bet on that happening with, it would be Strigo for me.
All right, fair enough. Let's get to the next number in the countdown.
Number 3.
Number 3. Well, I went with BJ Green. and I was the same way. I didn't want to put / on every one of these lines. Yeah. And it did come down to snap counts for me as well, Tone. And yes, there were more snaps for Strigo, but a lot of it was concentrated in weeks 12, 13, and 14, where he played 28, 26, and 34 snaps. After that, B.J. Green outsnapped him in week 15, in week 16, in week 17, in week 18, and then in week 19, which was the playoff game, Strigo had 9 snaps to B.J. Green's 1. So it did swing back to Strigo in that situation, but for the most part over the last month and a half, B.J. Green was playing a little bit more. He was a little bit more productive with the 2 sacks. So, yeah, that means it's a higher bar for him to improve. But I think looking for a significant improvement from one of those guys is a good path to be heading down. Which one it'll turn out to be, I don't care, man. You know what I mean? Like, I thought, like last training camp, I liked what I saw out of Strigo more than I did out of B.J. Green. I like them both, right? If they could both play and contribute, it's great if you can find some actual edge rush that can play on economical rookie deals.
Yeah, I was looking at the numbers for those two guys, obviously, trying to pick which one I was going to get. You mentioned the 2 sacks for B.J. Green. We were just talking about the QB hits. He had 2 sacks on 1 QB hit. I don't know how that works.
Yeah, maybe you don't get credit for a hit if you like touch a guy down who's already down, kind of thing.
Like that kind of thing. But it was kind of an odd thing.
That is a weird stat.
When it came up while I was looking at number 3 for me, Bashal Tootin. His spot in the middle of the list can be safely considered a vote from me about my confidence that the team will figure out a way to hold on to ETN. Because if I thought ETN was gone, Tootin may be number 1.
Okay.
Right on this list for me. But I am just confident enough that ETN, they're going to figure out a way to bring him back that I will have Tootin at number 3 on the list. But I do expect his opportunities to grow a little bit in the offense regardless. And I think the explosion that I didn't feel like I saw, as I've discussed with you before, I didn't feel like I saw it the way that I thought I would going into his rookie season. I do expect it to show up here in year number 2 for Bashal Tootin. That gets him number 3 on my list.
All right, RJ.
Number 3 on my list, Parker Washington. Because if we had him, Mike Dempsey as well as myself in the last top 5 when we talked about duos, and we said that the number 1 duo was going to be that of Trevor Lawrence and Parker Washington, then that ultimately means that he's going to be elevating his production level for the Jacksonville Jaguars. What he did was absolutely sensational last year. I don't know where the Jacksonville Jaguars ultimately are if he doesn't have that level of production in the season in which he had this past year. I think it only gets a lot better. It seems that Parker Washington also wants to have a better relationship with Trevor Lawrence, both on and off the field. So I think that's going to help as well. So Parker Washington, for me, if we are having him as one of the top duos for the Jaguars going into 2026, then we are not insinuating, for lack of a better word, but we're just saying that Parker Washington is going to have a better 2026 overall.
Okay, I think that's totally fair, and anybody who has Parker Washington in their top 5 here, it's a very valid answer. I didn't include Parker Washington in part because I feel like it's not that Parker is going to be that much improved. It's that the opportunities are going to be more numerous, right? So I think the guy we saw on the field in the second half of the season, I don't know what more you expect Parker Washington to add to his game. You know what I mean? But if you want to look at it from an improvement of numbers, because of that, what he showed, he probably will get more opportunities from the jump. So yes, if it's strictly a numbers thing, I do think you're right. He will bump his production this year, but to what degree? 14.6 yards a catch is a pretty big number.
Yeah.
Tone, you know what I mean? They're gonna have a full season of Jacoby Myers, hopefully healthy Brenton Strange, hopefully healthy Travis Hunter, obviously Brian Thomas Jr. in the mix. Does he get enough targets to make him an 1,200 yard receiver? It's possible.
Oh, for sure. And I think I thought about Parker and whether or not I would put him on this list, and because of the kind of end of season that he had, right? It was because of how great it was at the end of the year, and I think we're all kind of expecting him to maintain that bar. It's kind of the opposite of the conversation with Brian Thomas Jr. He was so great as a rookie,
right?
But look what happened in year 2. So that's where the room for improvement, is left for me on that thing. I don't know what Parker could do to realistically improve on what he did in the back half of the season, but I do think
he could do it over 17 games.
He could do it over 17 games, right? And I think that's the argument for if you're going to put Trevor Lawrence on the list, anyone who did, that's the argument is, well, we're going to get that from week 1. Right, from Trevor Lawrence, and what exactly would that look like, which is why you can consider him on this list. It wasn't enough for me to put him on.
Me either.
Personally, but I can understand what the rationale would be to have that kind of player on this kind of list.
All right. Every time I hear the rationale word, I think of Eddie Murphy asking, what is your rationale for shooting the Pope? That's me. My mind goes back to the 80s quite often. All right. We'll come back with numbers 2 and 1 in the countdown, or 2 and 1A, B, and C, as some cases may be. If you want to share yours with us, hit us up on the socials at MD_1010XL, at 1010XL, Fat Tony, and at R has no J. This is Jaguars Today on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
Jaguars Today from the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios. Not just talk.
Aren't you forgetting something?
Jacksonville sports talk.
Starting to get the picture?
1010XL.
Okay, good tip.
Jacksonville is listening.
Some auto shops love giving your wallet a flush every time you visit. Not AA Automotive. They fix only what needs fixing, nothing more. Honest, fast, and fair. That's AA Automotive on Richard Street. Boring name, awesome service, and no wallet flush.
Mailbox right now. Did you know there's local savings sitting in your mailbox right now? Money Pages is packed with real coupons from your favorite local businesses. Save money at restaurants like Al's Pizza, on pet care at Forever Vets, and on entertainment for the whole family at the Alhambra Theater. Plus, make sure to download the Money Pages app for savings on the go. Money Pages in your mailbox.
Jaguars Today Tuesday, kept pest-free by Chillington Creek Pest Control.
When you head out for a night with friends or going to the big game, don't forget the best game plan to win the night is to designate a driver and guarantee a safe ride home. Hydrating between buds is the best play you can make. Bud Light, reminding all to drink wiser.
What racehorse won the Belmont Stakes by 31 lengths?
The answer next.
When your homeowner's insurance policy is up for renewal, it's a good idea to shop around to find a better plan. Southern Oak Insurance for over 20 years provides Floridians a clear option. SouthernOak.com.
Our family protecting yours. Southern Oak Insurance.
Secretariat won the Triple Crown in 73, including winning the Belmont by 31 lengths.
Southern Oak Insurance, our family protecting yours.
This is the home of the Florida Gators. Get your Gators hoops on 1010XL. Brought to you by the personal injury attorneys of Farah and Farah, Randy Marion Cadillac of Jacksonville, and Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors.
Hello, this is Father Nicholas Lowe, and this month I want to talk to you about welcoming the winds of change in your life. But so often, when we see the winds of change coming our way, our immediate response is to fight it. Friends, when you see things in your life changing, when the winds of change are coming your way, don't fight it, but embrace it. Recognize that God is stirring you up so that you too can soar like an eagle.
For more inspiration, log on to stjohnthedivine.com.
New and pre-owned firearms are in stock at Beach's Jewelry and Pawn in Jacksonville Beach. Want a new sidearm or rifle? Brands like Kimber, Smith & Wesson, 6 Hour, Beretta. No lines, no hassle. Only at Beach's Jewelry and Pawn in Jacksonville Beach.
Hey folks, Rick Ballou here from the Blue Crab Crab House. February means the Mardi Gras menu returns to the Blue Crab Crab House. Gumbo, shrimp Orleans, blackened redfish, appetizers, dessert, and more. This includes, of course, their regular menu where you get crabs from the Alaskan waters, the Canadian waters, the Southern Georgia waters. It's only at the Blue Crab Crab House. Doors open at 4:30, San Jose, and, of course, Julington Creek Road.
This is Jeff Middlecoff with Cogent Bank. My associate Ryan Salem and I joined Cogent Bank because we wanted to revolutionize the mortgage business, just like Cogent Bank has revolutionized the banking business. So Ryan Salem and I are able to leverage the power and stability of Cogent Bank to go out and find our clients the best investors, the best products, and the best rates in the entire country for your particular mortgage loan. Of course, you don't have to be a customer at Cogent Bank to take advantage of our mortgage services to buy or refinance your home. We offer jumbo loans, VA, FHA, conventional, and investment loans. At Cogent Bank, we offer mortgages nationwide, so we can help you with a second home or help a family member who lives or is moving to another state. Call Ryan Salem or myself, Jeff Middlecoff, at Cogent Bank today, 904-442-9191, to see how we can help you with any of your mortgage loan needs, whatever or wherever they may be.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender, Cogent Bank, NMLS ID 402296, Ryan Salem, NMLS ID 1182429, Jeff Middlecoff, NMLS ID 249086.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch. Now, the Monahan's golden moment. Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach, your local family jewelers.
All right, saw this from Adam Schefter yesterday as well. The NFL is considering a push to expand how many years out in the future you're able to trade your draft picks, which is currently, I guess, 3 right now. And I know in the NBA, RJ, you can trade them for like 7 years, but you can only trade every other year's first rounder. I think it's something like that to try to protect them to some degree, man. I mean, you give some GM who's got limited job security the opportunity to mortgage the future for the immediate, and somebody is going to put their organization in a really bad hole, I have a feeling. But then again, you know, other teams are going to be sitting out there going, hey, we want to collect as much draft capital as possible. We love this idea, and it's a way for us to turn things around a lot more quickly. I don't know, man. Projecting 5 years out in the NFL, Tone, I think is a tough thing to do. It's one, even in the NBA, I get it. Like, you get these guys like Mikal Bridges, the deal to get him included like 4 first-round draft picks. The equivalent of that, I mean, those first-round picks are not worth the same as they are in the National Football League.
No.
Some of those guys don't make the roster, even though the rosters are a lot smaller. They don't have that same impact. You know, the guys you're drafting in the first round of the NFL are overwhelmingly likely to spend at least 4 or 5 years on your team as part of even if they don't get that second contract. Guys in the NBA, they might get stashed overseas. They might go to the G League, whatever the case may be. So you need a lot more. I don't know. I mean, Mikal Bridges is not the the NFL equivalent of Mikal Bridges maybe gives you a first-round pick, but I don't even know if it gets you one. Right? But that's kind of the nature of the NBA. Those picks so far on the future are devalued. I don't know what if you know what you're getting, 5 years down the road, potentially.
It feels like the NFL has at least set up a system where they kind of protect themselves from that kind of stupidity, right? With the way they currently have it set up. From a conversational perspective, look, we've done this over the course of the last several years, talked about, what would it take to get Patrick Mahomes? Well, there's no price you could pay. You don't have enough draft capital to even talk about.
Are your next 5 first-rounders getting in the conversation? Maybe not with Mahomes still, because you still, if you're the Chiefs, I don't think that would be worth it to you. If you've got a championship-caliber quarterback, I don't know if you can put the right price tag on that guy.
I'm with you, but it at least brings it more into real play. With some of this stuff.
Oh, absolutely. Like other quarterbacks a tier down now become in play.
I don't think it's necessary at all. I think the 3 years is plenty. You don't need to expand it beyond that.
I think it's short-term thinking because I think people are looking up and going, well, Malik Willis, is he the apple of this free agency market? Mm-hmm. And he's never been a full-time starter for the Green Bay Packers. We've seen other guys get their opportunity and get on the radar and thrive. We've seen other guys. Remember Matt Flynn, when he did it, he started a couple of games, had a 6-touchdown game, I think against Detroit.
Yeah.
And then they signed him to starter money at the time. I forget exactly how big the deal was. And then they drafted Russell Wilson, and history got changed.
So
but
maybe a conditional 7th-round pick in 2 years becomes a 6th-round pick in 4.
Maybe. I just think people are looking up and go, how are we going to answer the quarterback position? There's one guy in the draft that anybody feels even remotely good about, apparently, in terms of building a team around for the future. And unless you're the Raiders, you're not going to get him. And so what are we left with? Trading for Tua, trading for Kyler Murray, and some odious contract? Could this open up other avenues for us to explore getting into somebody's, bench and plucking the next Sam Darnold, who may in turn be Mac Jones. Mac Jones, I don't think is going to draw first-round picks 4 years down the line, though, right? Yeah. So there's got to be some spot in the middle that it makes sense for.
Protect yourself. They have rules in place right now that at least allow the league to protect itself from the shiny object they see every now and then.
Hey, look, if anybody is likely to not have any first-rounders for the next half-decade, don't look any further than Duval, man. Yeah. I mean, Gladstone
not afraid to spend it that
might
way,
go crazy on that. And you know what? If it were to bring him a championship, I'd say the hell with it. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Push those chips into the middle and let's get it done. All right, let's get it done with our Tuesday top 5. Let's wrap up the countdown here. On to number
2.
There we go. Tony, what do you got?
Number 2 for me, Travis Hunter.
Okay.
And I had a thought that I did not express on air when the injury happened with Travis Hunter last year because it really did flash through my mind. And I was like, Tony, don't say that. You're not hot take guy.
Tony?
Right?
Here we go.
You're not hot take guys, but I can express a hot take after it's cooled off sufficiently that it can be expressed, right? I thought when Travis Hunter got injured, the season was done. Right? I had that thought when that injury happened last year for Travis Hunter. It's Jags can't recover from this. They don't have anything put together that's going to allow them to recover. They did, right, after the Hunter thing. But it felt like that rose was about to be in full bloom, right, for the team as far as the way he was about to be used on the offensive side of the ball. I think the amount of time you've been without Travis Hunter on the field, maybe some people have forgotten how good a player he could potentially be in the NFL. There's a lot of talk about him being more of a corner this year than a wide receiver. I think that's likely that that's what's going to happen with Travis Hunter. I think he can be a star on either side of the ball in the league, and I think there's still the real potential that he's a star on both sides of the ball when they get him back out there on the field. When we get to off-season training and training camp time, there will not be a player I'm going to be more excited to watch again for the second year in a row than Travis Hunter.
That might be the case for the next half decade.
Yeah.
Right. Honestly. Right. I mean, he's got an infectious personality and a style in the way he moves.
Absolutely.
And all that stuff. So, yeah, a lot of people going with Travis Hunter today, and understandably so. RJ, who's at number 2?
Jarian Jones. I do believe that he is going to get plenty of more opportunities, especially on the defensive side of the ball. I understand there are also a lot of questions about who's coming back on the defense, especially when we talk about the corner position. But I think he's going to be one of your marquee guys when it comes to the cornerback position. We were able to see in flashes what he was able to do, especially during the second half of the year. I think he does more of the same when you give him more games and more opportunities. Jarian Jones is in my number 2 spot.
I considered him definitely for my top 5. Didn't make it. Ultimately, I went with Brian Thomas. You guys already had him in your top 5, so we all expect somewhat of a bounce-back season. To what degree? I don't know if he reaches the heights, but I looked at this as improvement off of 2025. That's what I did with Brian Thomas. I really focused on him getting his groove back. And, maybe the numbers are not going to be as eye-popping as they were as a rookie, but I think he can show improvement as he runs more of a route tree that's comfortable for his game. And he's got other guys to handle some of the dirty work on this team. And that's not a knock on Brian Thomas. So we all think he's talented. If you're on this list, we think you got a lot of talent, and we think you've got more improvement to come. So got him at number 2, RJ.
Number 1.
Who you got?
Number 1 for me, Travis Hunter. I think, I believe that this is a guy that when we're hearing Trevor Lawrence and Liam Cohen at Radio Row talk about this guy, and not just only his conditioning, but just the fact that it seems that so many people forgot about the fact that we still have this Lamborghini just chilling in the garage right now that we haven't taken out yet because of the fact that it was, he was injured for the majority of the season. Once we are able to figure out how to utilize him in the way in which can make us comfortable, him comfortable, and he can get into what we were able to get into in terms of the groove and the rhythm we were in that second half of the year, he may be able just to be the spark plug that really turns this whole thing up just a few more notches. So I do expect Travis Hunter to come back with a chip on his shoulder as well, because there are many people that are saying, listen, should he just be one position or the other, or how do we, make this to where it can work, to where he can be the Shohei Ohtani of the NFL, as he was called once he was drafted. So Travis Hunter, I expect a lot of things out of in 2026. I'm excited.
All right. Look, I told you I'm going to combine a few guys on the first line here. And had this been a true top 5, Hunter would have been 1, Wyatt Milam 2, Bajal Tootin 3, Brian Thomas, B.J. Green for me. And I would have left Trayvon and Cole Van Lannon off. But I felt like it was hard for me to distinguish between guys that didn't get as many reps as they might have under different circumstances. I think Bajal Tootin obviously could take over the starting role this year, depending on how things go. Wyatt Milam can play for a starting role. Travis Hunter, you guys have expressed it already. What more can I mean, the guy is arguably the best athlete on the team. Can he turn into one of the best football players on this team? I think it's possible. And again, I just didn't want a top 5 on every round. I'm going, there's another rookie who's going to break out. So I just lumped them all together, Hunter, Milam, and Tootin as my top breakout candidates. Tony, who's at number 1?
Number 1 for me is Wyatt Milam. At least going to be in competition for a starting spot somewhere on the offensive line, likely at right guard for the football team. Number 1 on my list.
All right, let's come back. We'll go quick look around the league, take a look at a couple of top 5 submissions, and get you ready for XL Primetime coming up. You're listening to Jaguars Today on 1010XL and 92.5 FM. Hey, folks, Mike Dempsey here. Love to tell you about a great little golf tournament that's coming up here on the First Coast. You'll have the opportunity to see LPGA Tour's Stars of Tomorrow competing at Atlantic Beach Country Club March 5th through the 7th. It's the Epsom Tours Atlantic Beach Classic, and it's presented by Access Golf, and it's the first stop on the pathway to the top 15 ladies receiving LPGA Tour cards at the end of the season. So get out there, watch a little golf, support the ladies of tomorrow. The IQ Fiber Linkside Lounge will be the best value around. You get an all-inclusive ticket with food, beer, wine, and spirits for only $100. So visit AtlanticBeachClassic.com and enter promo code IQ for this special rate. Friday afternoon features a fantastic Fairways to Fashion show presented by Bosco Builders, featuring Epsom Tour players and Atlantic Beach boutique stores. Limited tickets still available. Again, visit AtlanticBeachClassic.com to purchase.
Jaguars Today from the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios of 1010XL. Live streaming from the XL Digital Studios. Brightened by Harbor Dental Care, Jacksonville's first choice for dental emergencies.
Get ready to break on through this Valentine's night. Experience the Ultimate Doors Tribute live at Thrasher Horn Center February 14th. Get tickets at thcenter.org.
If you're thinking about getting a new roof sometime this year, Endless Summer Roofing can help. I'm Claudia, owner of Endless Summer Roofing. Stronger materials, expert installation, real peace of mind. A new roof isn't just an upgrade. It's the primary source of protection for your family home. Visit endlesssummerroofing.com for a free inspection today, and I'll make sure you're ready for tomorrow. Endless Summer Roofing. Protecting your home from Florida's endless summers.
Jaguars Today Tuesday.
Protected by Shillington Creek Pest Control. Our family serving yours since 1984.
Hi, I'm Sean Monahan from Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach, celebrating our 49th annual Valentine's Day sale. Come see our hand-picked inventory of thousands of pieces of fine jewelry, diamonds, and gemstones. This Valentine's Day, we have big discounts with jewelry for any budget. And with interest-free financing, you'll get the jewelry you love with a monthly payment you can afford. Monahans will also give you cash for your unwanted gold or silver, or trade it in for new jewelry and get greater value. Monahan Jewelers Valentine's Day sale with big savings in our entire inventory. Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach.
The Players' Championship returns to TPC Sawgrass March 10th through 15th. Experience golf's most iconic stage with enhanced food and beverage offerings, interactive fan attractions, and an atmosphere built for every type of fan. See the best players in the world, including world number 1 Scotty Scheffler, 2025 champion Rory McIlroy, and fan favorite Brooks Koepka take on the legendary Stadium Course and the famous Island Green. Tickets available at theplayers.com.
Leadership looks different on every woman, and every story deserves the spotlight. I'm Liz Grebe, the events director from the Jacksonville Business Journal. I would love for you to join us, PNC Bank, and our 2026 Women of Influence honorees for an unforgettable celebration honoring the women shaping our business community, opening doors, and lifting others along the way. Women of Influence, because powerful leadership deserves to be celebrated. Get your tickets now at jbjevents.com.
Let's talk about the sound no homeowner wants to hear. Drip, drip, drip. Still dripping. That's exactly why Duck Duck Rooter created the Love Your Pipes promotion. Plumbing problems don't scare us. Not with years of experience and honest upfront pricing on our side. Right now, you can get free plumbing assessment on all fixtures with any paid plumbing service. It's the smart move to fix the issue now before it becomes bigger. So when you're stuck, call the Duck, 904-862-6769, duckduckrooter.com.
Hey, Jacksonville DDH. Dreamfinders Danny Hicken here with the scoop from Dreamfinders Homes, your national builder of the year. We've got first-year interest rates as low as 2.99% in homes in 20-plus communities throughout Northeast Florida. If you're house hunting, make sure your first pick Dreamfinders Homes, the proud official home builder of the PGA Tour, the Florida Gators, and your Jacksonville Jaguars. Visit dfhsalesevent.com today and tell them Dreamfinders Danny sent you.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focus, fueled, fearless, Farah. Everything you need to know about the Jags. Jaguars Today on 1010XL.
All right, down the stretch here on Jaguars Today. Let's cram a bunch into the final few minutes. Tony, why don't we take a quick look around the other 31 teams in the NFL?
Now, gems around the NFL. Brought to you by Beach's Jewelry and Pawn in Jacks Beach.
2 of the 30 lawsuits against Cleveland quarterback Deshaun Watson were dismissed yesterday. Both lawsuits had been set to go to trial in a couple of weeks. One of the 2 has been settled. It was not immediately clear if the other had been settled as well. It is believed that Watson no longer has any other lawsuits pending after going through, as I said, 30 of them. Seattle kicker Jason Myers had 5 field goals and 2 extra points in their Super Bowl win over New England on Sunday. With that 17-point effort, Myers sets the new NFL single-season scoring record at 206 points, passing the record of LaDainian Tomlinson, who scored 198 points in the 2006 season.
Obviously, Tony, take the field goals, right? Take the points. Seattle is Super Bowl champs.
I'll take those LT points, too.
I'll take those as well. We will overreact to everything because that's what everyone does, right? Seahawks model, whatever that model is now the way to build an NFL champion. Well, it was this year.
No doubt.
What'll next year's model be? Tune in and find out for sure. All right, some of the names that we did not put in our top 5s or top 7s, as the case may be, that got mentioned today and let me get your reaction to these. Professor Floyd put Mason Smith with the fingers crossed emoji next to it.
I understand the fingers crossed.
Right, and look, it wouldn't take much for him to be very much improved based on what he's shown. I just don't have that confidence right now. Jarian Jones, RJ did have in there. He had some love for him there. LaQuint Allen got mentioned by a number of people today. I think his role remains pretty similar. I think there's another back that's added if Etienne's gone that will be a slot in ahead of him.
I had the same thought when I considered him,
Several people put Trevor. We already discussed that. Devon Hamilton. Wow. I'd love to see it. And
that would be like a 5-sack season, something like that would be the
maybe, and a big factor this year in having the number one run defense. So that would be good if he could make that improvement. Josh Hines-Allen, Monteric, and again that's presuming he is back. Ventrell Strigo getting some love in there as well. I think we cut and some for obviously for Caleb Bransall, but we left him off because sight unseen. I have no idea what to expect from Caleb Bransall.
I briefly considered Ray Lane, but I couldn't figure out how to get him into a starting role on defense. I think he is as we hear from logs every week when we have him in, like I trust him that he is an A-plus special teams player for the team. I don't know that I expect him to have much bigger a role than that, going into year 2 for him, and I couldn't see exactly where the path for that was going to be with Caleb Bransall coming back. Antonio, I don't want to see Antonio Johnson's role shrink at all.
But I think it was tough to project him having the largest improvement after how much he improved this year as well. Is he going to turn into an 8 or 9 interception guy and a full-time player? And maybe he does, but I was pretty happy with the improvement he showed in 2025. All right, thank you for playing along with today's Tuesday the top 5 likely most improved Jaguars for 2026. Let's say hello to XL Primetime.
Now, the 2-minute drill is driven by nobody but Nimnicht. Nimnicht Chevrolet on Cassett Avenue and Nimnicht Buick GMC on Phillips Highway.
Hello, Joe C.
What is happening?
Here's a question for you.
Yeah.
Who will be the most improved member of XL Primetime in 2026? Will it be you, Leon, Matt, or JJ?
We all have goals.
Okay.
Some of them not as lofty as the other. And I think basically Matt's bar is so low as far as what he wants to do improvement-wise.
Okay.
He's going to get over it first.
Right. Well, if that's the key, right? If in this category, don't do much to begin with, and you can easily improve on that.
It's like that baseline for the concussion test. He acts concussed every once in a while, and then he can fake it and get back in the game.
Right. You get in the blue tent, they're like, this guy's smarter than he was in the offseason. What's going on here? And you wonder, do guys do that at all?
Hines Ward was the first guy that I remember saying that he did it.
Did he?
Yeah, that he faked the baseline.
What do they ask you? I don't even know what the baseline test consists of.
I don't know. Like, what's your birthday?
Is it that kind of stuff? Maybe. I mean, how do you fake that?
I don't know.
You get it wrong the first time around. You're like, August 5th.
You are right. That would be bad if they got that wrong. But somebody has to know what the baseline is.
There has to be something in there, right? Yeah. So
it's like
anyway.
it's like the write-off in Seinfeld.
It's all it's all these things. There's not a thing that can happen that Joey does not have a Seinfeld reference for, or that Seinfeld doesn't have a reference for that matter.
I don't think you do.
And by the way, Tony, this goes back to when Joe and I were doing a show together. It was Joe's show, but I was his producer and sometimes co-host in the 90s when Seinfeld was still on the air. And he's just never stopped.
And we had to wait once a week.
Yeah, once a week back then, right? Must-see TV, baby. So, Joey, what's coming up on Must-Listen Radio on XL Primetime?
So, Coach Mark Duffner, former Jaguars linebackers coach, he will be in looking back on the Super Bowl, and it's we had Gerald Ingram going into it, who won 2 Super Bowl rings, and then Coach Duffner was with Cincinnati, and obviously they were in the Super Bowl not that long ago. So anyway, we'll break it down with him, and then we're looking at a few different angles of college ties to the Super Bowl and where they come from. We all talk about the bigs, right? The SEC, the Big Ten, all that kind of stuff. Anyway, a lot of smaller school dudes that have made it and became stars that starred in the Super Bowl. So we'll have a little fun with that, tying it back to college.
All right, we'll look forward to it. By the way, I saw somebody got a bet down at, I think it's 500-1, Cincinnati over Dallas. That specific outcome in the Super Bowl for $2,500 for next year. Pays $1.25 million.
That's not bad.
But
that's a solid bet.
Is it $2,500?
Flushing money.
I think that's flushing money too.
Yeah. And some of those guys, they do have flushable money. Yeah.
Right.
The
But
one,
if you got flushable money, do you really want to sit around for a year to find? I don't know. I don't know.
Well, the one that I heard, because honestly, Seattle and New England, 70-1, 65-1 in that neighborhood, both of them going in to this year. Hard to believe they were close because Seattle was a hell of a lot better than New England was last year, which is still interesting. But anyway, now you have it in L.A., and you can bet Chargers-Rams. Probably get a pretty good play.
You could.
Not bad.
Yeah, they'll probably I don't know, probably knock those odds down because there will be people that are looking for the first
we'll go
double
Jags,
home
Rams.
team. Imagine being in your home stadium for the Super Bowl and being in the visiting locker room.
Yeah.
That'd be nuts.
That would be nuts. I guess they have their own home
Was
separate.
Tampa in the home or visiting locker
I
room?
don't know.
I
don't know the answer to that.
Yeah. Not sure.
Questions that only get answered by people who cover a team that actually makes it to the Super Bowl. So, Joey, have a good show. All
right, fellas.
All right, XL Primetime coming your way for the next couple of hours right here. Thanks again for checking us out on Tuesday here with the top 5. Tomorrow, a little more draft. We had a little bit of draft in the first hour, but Chad Ryder from NFL.com will be cold on the carpet to explain his selections for the Jags in his 3-round mock that you can check out at NFL.com anytime between now and tomorrow at 10 o'clock. So for Tony Smith and RJ Saunders, I'm Mike Dempsey. Thank you for listening to Jaguars Today. Keep it right here on 10.